We describe our facility as a movement studio. What we do at Praksis is to offer an approach that acknowledges the need for both movement prep and movement practice. We start by increasing people's physical potential through the preparatory work, building strength, mobility, resilience, awareness, and sensitivity in the body. And then we express that increased potential by learning increasingly complex physical skills and patterns. So rather than just putting more weight on the bar, we progress over time instead by introducing our students to new movement patterns and scenarios. But what's different here is that the orientation is not toward a final performance or a competition. It's toward the practice itself and toward the effect that practice has on how we experience our bodies and the world through our bodies, on how we think, how we move, how we see things, how we interact with each other, and on how we feel. Our simple mission is to improve your experience of being in a body, and each of our different class types serves this mission in a different way. In the strength classes, we learn how to organize the body for maximal expression of strength. In the upper body classes, we focus on repatterning the scapula, the shoulder blade, learning to push and pull from the shoulders with assistance from the arms. Most people who think they have weak arms actually have weak shoulders. And almost everyone makes the mistake of focusing too much attention on strengthening their arms and too little attention on building stability in the shoulder. These classes are all bodyweight based, and we increase the strength of our students over time, not only by adding volume, but also by learning more and more advanced bodyweight movements. So novelty is always present. In lower body strength classes, we focus on hip stability, taking the load out of the spine and the knees and into the stronger musculature of the hip. So we learn to lift heavy things with quality, bracing the spine and driving movements like the squat and deadlift from the hips, as well as emphasizing quality movement by teaching optimal alignment for the different primary lifts. We also build resilience in suboptimally aligned positions to make the body more capable of dealing with chaos. Most injuries happen out of alignment when something doesn't go to plan. And if we only ever train in alignment, we're setting ourselves up for disaster. So we challenge the structure in vulnerable positions, cautiously and gradually of course, to make them less vulnerable. This approach leads to more movement options, greater resilience to injury, and ultimately more physical freedom. In our mobility classes, we work to strengthen the body at end range of motion. When people hear the word mobility, they think about foam rolling and the stretches you learn in PE class. But our approach to developing mobility is very different. It often looks and feels a lot more like strength work. So we're building both stability and flexibility at the same time. The goal is to be able to move through the full range of motion of every joint from head to toe with control. Our longevity classes are targeted toward anyone who's feeling the effects of aging. Most of the participants in these classes are over 60, and they all report decreased levels of pain and discomfort, as well as increased vitality, energy, and enjoyment of their physical experience, often after just 1 or 2 classes. In many ways, we really don't do enough for our elders in our culture, and we're trying to address that in the little way that we can. If you want to learn to balance on your hands, our handstand classes are for you. All our teachers and 99% of our students learn this skill as adults. Most adults are afraid of handstands. Confronting and gradually overcoming that fear is, for me, the most meaningful dimension of our handstand classes. And we have tools to do that. Regardless of your starting point, we can help you, beginning with the absolute basics of practicing aligning the body, strengthening the wrists, and opening the shoulders in preparation for learning the skill of hand balancing itself. Just kicking up and trying to hold a handstand long enough for an Instagram photo is not our orientation here. It's on following a process that really works, developing the ability to balance on the hands for 15, 30, 60 seconds at a time, every time. Movement practice is where the magic happens. In these classes, we shift from preparatory mode to practice mode. Here we're focused not so much on building some skill or quality for the sake of our future selves, getting stronger, more flexible, fitter, but on experiencing and enjoying our embodiment now, on really cultivating and expressing the ability to move freely. Sometimes it feels like a martial arts class, other times it feels like a dance class, other times a meditation class, other times an animal movement class. This is where we practice all the movements that make us human. Jumping, crawling, rolling, swinging, dancing, striking, grappling, being springy, being elastic, moving very quickly, moving very slowly, moving in cooperation with another person or in competition with another person, and even sitting still and contemplating. Most people report that our movement practice classes are like nothing they've done before. What we do at Praksis really is for everybody. We work with people of all ages and ability levels, from people who've done no other physical practices before, to people who teach yoga or Pilates or dance, to office workers, to grandmothers. If you're afraid or nervous about coming to class for the first time, that's completely normal. Don't let that stop you. Our community is supportive, welcoming, and non-judgmental. Everyone here is working together to get just a little bit better every day. People often worry that they're not strong enough, or fit enough, or flexible enough, or young enough, or skinny enough, or not coordinated enough, or whatever enough to join our classes. But there really are zero prerequisites. None of us are yet able to do all the things we'd like to do. And we embrace that rather than being ashamed of it, because that's where the learning process begins. You could be overweight, completely sedentary, chronically injured. We all need movement. And as long as you want to learn, you'll be welcomed with open arms when you step through our doors. Need some water.